Okay, so what is going on, everybody? Dempster here, and today I'm potentially starting my new series on how to flip PCs for a profit. So, as some of you may know, I'm a university student and I wanted to make some money on the side. So, during one of my very boring lectures, I decided to browse Facebook Marketplace and just look around, and I found many PCs, but only from people who are already reselling them. So, how can you tell when a PC is being flipped? Just look at the person's profile on Facebook Marketplace, and if you see that his profile is full of PCs, that probably means that he's just a flipper. So you better want to not buy from these people because they are already probably squeezing out as much profit as they can, so they will not even budge on the price. So I kept on looking and eventually found some that are being sold by an actual user of the PC, not just some flipper like myself. And you can also use sites like Craigslist or other local websites that people are selling things like used computers, but just make sure to research your local market and see what prices are of computers with different kind of specs and try to buy one below that. Also be careful of potential scams because if something is too good to be true, then it probably is. I actually found this PC from a comment that the seller left on another person's post where he was also selling an RTX 3070 gaming PC, so I immediately DM'd him and asked if he had it. He said yes, and then he sent me this picture which only showed me the CPU and the RAM, but the most important part for me was to make sure that it has an RTX 3070 like he said. But he seemed not too tech savvy, so I didn't want to scare him off and just asked him when I can meet him. And he told me that he has the computer in his car and he could bring the PC anywhere to me, which was kind of a red flag. Like I don't know why he would do this, but yeah. So I decided to go with it. So he brought the PC to my house, and when I came outside to greet him, like I asked him like, oh, why don't you use it anymore? Which is also a really good question because you can get to know the seller more, like why he's selling it. Potentially you can bring the price down from here, but he said that he broke the monitor when he raged on CSGO, which was red flag number 2 now. I'm like, why I should not let him to my house, but like he might have some anger issues, but I decided to go with it. And I also noticed that the PC was like super musty. You can see it here, and it looks like the PC was like never clean, like ever. I don't know if it's if you can see it on the photos, but in real life it was really bad. So when we got to my room, I plugged in the PC in and pushed the power button. It turned on, the LED lights worked on the fans, including the CPU fan, and the GPU fans were spinning. So that was a good sign, but nothing came up on the screen. Like I was surprised, of course, and the seller was also surprised. But yeah, we tried like different cables, but still nothing came up. We tried for like good 10 to 15 minutes, I guess, and the PC was just not showing any signal to the display. And then he was like, keep the PC and try to fix it, and you can pay me later. Which I was really surprised by this, but like, I mean, yeah, he knows where I live, and he knows that I most likely will not scam him. So I left him $50 and he left. So after that he left, I immediately started diagnosing the PC for potential problems. I removed the graphics card, removed the CMOS battery, but when I reinstalled them back in, it seemed to work. The PC booted into Windows and everything seemed to be fine. So I messaged him, I said that I got him working, that I got the PC working, and he asked me what was wrong with it. But honestly, I couldn't tell you what was wrong, what was the problem. I guess something with the BIOS, something with the CMOS, maybe the GPU, but yeah. So the PC originally had the 120 gig SSD, one terabyte hard drive, and another 500 gigabyte hard drive. But he messaged me that he wants to keep those hard drives because they contain his photos or whatever, which I thought I was fine with me because and no one really uses hard drives anymore for gaming. So the price originally he wanted was $450, but I negotiated with him and I told him that I can only give him $380 because he wants to keep those hard drives and I would need to buy more storage. So we went back and forth, but eventually he agreed to $380, which I was more than happy to pay because here in my local area, similar spec computers with an RTX 3070 and the Ryzen 5 3600 and 16 gigs of RAM sell for close to like $600 to $700. So don't be shy trying to negotiate the price. Just offer like solid arguments why you think the seller might want to bring down the price, and he might even decide to sell it for your desired price. So Later in the day, we met at the gas station and with the seller, and I gave him the remaining $330 and his hard drive. So we shook hands and the sale was done. So after that, I immediately gone back to home and started cleaning the computer. It's really important to get it looking good so that we can take good pictures and get it sold. Because like most of the time I see what people doing is just taking pictures of their computers really badly and like really unclearly, because you can really see that it's really dirty and really dusty. So we want to make sure that we really clean it thoroughly so that a potential buyer might see it and looks at the computer to see that it was treated good. So first of all, I removed the graphics card to get access to more areas of the PC, and then I removed the front dust cover so that I can remove the fans and clean them up individually. As you can see here, they were really dusty, probably like never cleaned since new. And after that, I removed the fan off the CPU as well, and no surprise here, it was also dusty. So at first, to get the big chunks out of the dust out of my computer, I used a vacuum cleaner. Most people say no, don't use a vacuum cleaner or whatever, but I mean, it's probably not gonna damage anything if you are not being stupid. Just don't vacuum, obviously, like the motherboard or something like that. Just vacuum around it and you should be fine. And then I unscrewed the fans and started cleaning them up with a wet cloth. So here's the before and here's the after. So as you can see, they look pretty much brand new here. So I did that to every single fan of the computer, and here's the full before and after. So then again, I used a wet cloth to clean more of the inside, and you can already see a difference. Just make sure to be really careful as to not touch any electrical parts with the wet cloth, because there's water and it could possibly short circuit something. So just be really careful here. And after that, I removed the RAM sticks. They weren't too bad, honestly. I just wiped them down and they're good. Then here you can see how dirty the front fan cover was. So I just used some dish soap and a sponge to clean it off. And yeah, so after all that cleaning, it took me about 2 to 3, maybe 4 hours to clean it. But you can see the finished result. It looks like basically new. So right now you're probably thinking that I cleaned it and now I will just list it for sale, but no. Here is the problem starts. So after cleaning, I plugged everything in and ran ForMark. Everything went well, but I decided to run Heaven Benchmark as well just to be sure. So after about like 2 to 3 minutes, I'd say, it black screens. And I was like, what? Like, how could this be? I mean, I tested everything before. So I was really confused. Like before, when I tested it, everything was fine. So I did a number of things to possibly fix these things. So I updated all my drivers, tested a lot of the components with a memory test thing right here. And nothing seemed to fix it. I got really frustrated. So I got it down to 2 things that could be possibly wrong with this computer. So either the GPU went bad or the power supply is dying. So for just testing, I bought a new power supply that I knew I could return it. So I connected everything, turned it on, but still the same issue persisted. So I got even more frustrated because this means that it's more than likely the graphics card. So I returned the power supply. And yeah, so now I was I paid $380 for the computer and the GPU alone is $300. So basically, if the GPU is done, then this whole deal is done for me. So I thought that I was being scammed. So I texted the seller, explained everything and told him that I wanted to return it because I just could not get it to work as properly as he said that it works. So we have laws where I live that you can return anything that is faulty in 2 weeks, even in the second-hand deals like this. But he texted me, "Good luck, buddy." And oh my god, when I see that buddy text, oh my god, he got me so mad. I knew that I could contact the police or something because he clearly said in our chats that everything works perfectly. And that's just not the case right now, but I decided to try something that might just fix this thing. So I opened up GPU-Z, which is a program that gives you even more information about the graphics card. So I opened it up and then I ran Heaven Benchmark again. And it showed me over 105 degrees on the hotspot, which is insanely hot. That was possibly the issue that I can fix. Because when I ran different tests, they only showed me the GPU temperature, which as you can see here, it was under 80 degrees, so I wasn't even considering that there was a problem with the temperature. So I disassembled the whole graphics card and there was basically no thermal paste on the GPU die, as you can see here. So yeah, that was probably the issue. So I applied some high quality thermal paste, and while I was in here, I also cleaned the GPU fans as well because I could get them. After that, I reinstalled the graphics card and hoped for the best. So I turned it on, and for the first time, it completed the heaven benchmark, which I was really happy about. And even on the hotspot temperature, it haven't exceeded 90 degrees, which I was so relieved because I finally fixed the PC myself. So after a few days, I ran some more tests, like with other kind of benchmarking tools, and I just regular gameplay, like I played just normal games that I play myself, and it seemed to work flawlessly. The temperatures were really good, the processor and the graphics card were really running chilly, and the computer was also really quiet, even under load, even while I was playing some game. Okay, so finally, after about a week of tinkering with this build, I can finally list it for sale. So I took some photos and listed it on Facebook Market. I originally listed it for $700, but after some time, I lowered it to $650. Many people messaged me like trying to get it for like $500, but those are just really lowball offers, so I just ignored them. And finally, one person messaged me and he came to my house. He just ran Formark for about 30 minutes. Everything was fine. He didn't even try to negotiate with me. He just paid me the $650 and left. So I really hope that everything else is fine with this build, and I just really hope that it will last him for a long time. So I originally paid the $380 and sold it for $650. So I made $270 profit for not that much work. So I think that I did pretty good on this. Like, what do you guys think? And if you want to see more content like this, like I can even make this into a series. Just leave a comment, and if I see that many people want to see this, I can make this into a series definitely. So yeah, so leave a like if you liked it, and yeah, thanks for watching, guys.